A miraculous escape from the Pharaoh's decree, the tale of a Hebrew baby boy. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Egypt, a decree was issued by the fearful Pharaoh that all Hebrew baby boys were to be killed at birth. The Hebrew people, enslaved and oppressed by the Egyptians, lived in constant fear under the harsh rule of the Pharaoh. Amidst this turmoil, a Hebrew couple, Amram and Jochebed, welcomed a beautiful baby boy into the world. But their joy quickly turned to dread as they realized the danger their son faced under the Pharaoh's decree. Determined to save her child, Jochebed crafted a plan that required faith and courage. In the cover of night, Jochebed and Amram worked silently, weaving a basket strong enough to carry their son. They lined it with tar and pitch, making it waterproof, their hands moving with urgency but also with the tenderness of desperate hope. Once the ark was ready, they waited for dawn, knowing their decision could change their son's fate forever. As the first light of dawn touched the Nile, Jochebed kissed her baby one last time, whispering prayers for his safety. With Amram by her side, they placed the basket among the reeds at the river's edge. The current gently rocked the ark, as if cradling their precious cargo in a gentle embrace. Their hearts heavy, they returned home, trusting their faith to guide their son to safety. The river carried the baby towards a destiny beyond what anyone could have imagined. Meanwhile, the Pharaoh's daughter, drawn to the river's edge by a divine intervention, discovered the crying baby among the reeds. Moved by compassion and unaware of the child's Hebrew heritage, she decided to raise him as her own. She named him Moses, meaning drawn out of water, a name that would echo through history. Moses grew up in the Pharaoh's palace, educated and trained as an Egyptian prince, yet his heart remained with his people. As he matured, Moses became aware of his true heritage and the suffering of his people. The sight of Hebrew slaves being mistreated ignited a fire within him, a call to action he could no longer ignore. One day, in a fit of rage, Moses killed an Egyptian slave master. Fearing the Pharaoh's wrath and the consequences of his actions, Moses fled into the desert. In the solitude of the desert, Moses encountered God in the form of a burning bush that was not consumed by the flames. God spoke to Moses, tasking him with leading the Hebrews out of Egypt and into freedom. Initially hesitant, Moses questioned his own ability to carry out such a monumental task. However, armed with divine powers and his brother Aaron by his side, Moses returned to Egypt. He demanded the Pharaoh let his people go, but the Pharaoh's heart was hard. God unleashed 10 plagues upon Egypt, each more devastating than the last, until finally, the Pharaoh relented. The night before their departure, the Hebrews marked their doorposts with lamb's blood, a sign for the angel of death to pass over their homes. This night would be remembered forever as Passover. With Moses leading the way, the Hebrews left Egypt, embarking on a journey to the Promised Land. They crossed the Red Sea, with God parting the waters to allow them safe passage. Behind them, the Pharaoh's armies drowned as the waters returned to their place. In the wilderness, God provided manna from heaven and water from a rock. At Mount Sinai, Moses received the 10 Commandments, laws that would guide the Hebrew people. Through trials and tribulations, Moses led his people for 40 years in the desert. His leadership, faith, and the miracles witnessed during their exodus became a testament to the power of God. Moses, once a baby hidden in the reeds, became a leader, a prophet, and a deliverer. His story, from the basket to the mountain, reminds us of the strength found in faith and the power of divine intervention. It teaches us that no decree can extinguish the light of hope and that freedom is a promise worth fighting for. As the sun sets over the desert, the legacy of Moses continues to inspire, a beacon of faith and freedom for generations to come. The Nile's Hidden Promise, a tale of courage and hope in ancient Egypt. Fade into the golden sands of ancient Egypt, where the Nile River breathes life into an empire. Here, amidst grand pyramids, a decree echoes, a command from the Pharaoh that casts a shadow over the Hebrew people. In the heart of Egypt, the Hebrews toil, their spirits crushed under the weight of enslavement. Their lives, a testament to endurance, are now threatened by a decree most cruel. Enter Amram and Jochebed, a couple bound by love and faith. Their home, a beacon of light in these dark times, welcomes a new soul, a baby boy whose first cry is a whisper of hope. But with his first breath, the shadow of the Pharaoh's decree looms. A decree that spares not the innocent, demanding the lives of Hebrew sons, leaving a trail of sorrow in its wake. In the stillness of the night, Amram and Jochebed ponder their fate. Fear grips their hearts, but a glimmer of defiance sparks. Their son shall not be a victim, his destiny will not be written by tyrants. Under the cloak of darkness, a plan is forged, a daring scheme born from a love so fierce it dares to challenge the Pharaoh's will. Their baby, wrapped in a basket of reeds, is to be hidden away from the executioner's grasp. Jochebed, with hands that tremble yet hold the strength of generations, places her son in the Nile. The river, a witness to centuries, now carries a precious burden, a hope for the future. As dawn breaks, the basket is discovered by none other than the Pharaoh's daughter. Her heart, unlike her father's, is moved by compassion. She sees not an enemy, but a child. In an act of defiance wrapped in mercy, she decides to raise the child as her own. The Hebrew boy, in the heart of the empire that seeks his people's ruin, grows. He is named Moses, and his story unfolds like the river that saved him. From a basket adrift to the halls of power, his journey is a testament to the unpredictable twists of fate. Years pass, and Moses, once the child of the Nile, becomes the leader of a revolution. His voice, once a mere cry, now thunders demands for freedom. And so, from the depths of despair, a hero rises. Moses, a name etched in history, a symbol of hope for the oppressed. His legacy, a reminder that no decree can extinguish the human spirit. Fade out on the sands of Egypt, now a witness to a new dawn. The story of Moses, a beacon of faith and courage, continues to inspire, reminding us that freedom is a right worth fighting for. End. The Nile's Hidden Promise, a tale of courage and hope in ancient Egypt. In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the Nile's waters whisper secrets of the past, a tale unfolds. A tale of courage, hope, and a decree that cast a shadow over a people. The Pharaoh, mighty and feared, commanded a darkness upon the land. His words, like a tempest, sought to extinguish the light of the future for many. Here, under the watchful eyes of the gods and the relentless sun, the Hebrew people toiled. Their spirits, though burdened by chains, were unbroken. The land echoed with their prayers, a chorus of longing for deliverance from their suffering. In this cradle of civilization, where history whispers from the sands, a child was born. Amram and Jochebed, his parents, held him close, their hearts brimming with a love fierce enough to challenge destiny itself. This child was a beacon of hope, a promise in the night. But the shadow of the Pharaoh's decree loomed large, a specter of death over the innocence of birth. The edict was cruel, unyielding. It sought to steal the future from their very arms. In the silence of their home, fear was a constant guest, whispering dark futures. Yet, in the face of despair, there is always a flicker of hope. Amram and Jochebed, with hearts heavy but resolute, devised a plan. A plan born of desperation and love, a testament to the lengths a heart will go to protect its kin. They crafted a small basket, an ark of reeds, caressing it with prayers and tears. It was more than a vessel, it was a cradle of faith. Into this ark, they placed their son, entrusting him to the gods, to the river, to fate. The Nile, with its currents of life and death, became the guardian of their hope. The basket, a tiny speck amidst the vastness, carried their son towards an uncertain future. But in uncertainty, there was a chance for salvation. As the basket bobbed along the water, a royal procession approached. The Pharaoh's daughter, bathing in the gentle embrace of the Nile, noticed the ark. Her curiosity, a beacon of hope, led her to the child. With tender hands, she lifted the baby from the basket, his cries touching a chord in her heart. Here, in this moment, destinies intertwined. She named him Moses, drawing him from the water, unknowing of the role he would play in history's dance. Moses grew under the watchful eyes of royalty, his spirit untamed by the opulence that surrounded him. Within him burned a fire for justice, a desire to right the wrongs he saw. His heart, though nurtured in luxury, belonged to his people. The tale of Moses is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It speaks of a journey from the darkest depths to the greatest heights. It is a story of liberation, not just of a people, but of the soul. In this ancient land, where monuments touch the sky, and the Nile carries the whispers of the past, the saga of Moses remains. It is a beacon of hope, a reminder that in the face of darkness, there is always light. This tale, woven through the fabric of time, calls to us. It urges us to remember that courage, faith, and love have the power to change the course of history. In our darkest moments, it whispers, there is always a dawn. And so, the story of Moses, a child of the Nile, echoes through the ages. It is a testament to the indomitable will of the human spirit, to the unyielding power of hope. In the vast tapestry of time, it stands as a beacon, guiding us through the night.